Hey, what's up guys? I'm Rob Richards. Welcome back to my gym workouts. Hey, if you're new to these videos and you haven't really seen me on YouTube before, let me break down what my whole goal with this is. To kind of show you both exercises that you might know and focus on muscle groups, but also to give examples of some of the exercises that you may not be too familiar with, show you how to actually perform them and the benefits that they can give to you. I know, especially around this time of the year, a lot of people and newbies to the gym are kind of focusing on, the abdominal region, losing body fat, maybe showing some more shape and conditioning around the abdominal. So I thought, hey, let's have a look at the typical abdominal crunch today. I'll break that down, show you why I think it's a great exercise and also maybe not the best exercise when it comes to really working the abdominals, and then show you 6 other exercises to focus on different areas of the abdomen. Before I do, shout out to squarespace.com for sponsoring this video. More on them later, as well as give you a glimpse of my brand new website that I'll be relaunching at the end of this month. So this will be home to literally hundreds of training videos, meal plans, nutritional information and exercises. So really a one-stop shop to come and find out anything you need to about getting in better shape, feel better about yourself and more confident. All right, with that being said, let's first of all take a look at the typical crunch, how it works the abdominals, how not to perform it, and then start to show you some of the other exercises that I'd throw into the mix. So we've got a mat here in the gym. Typically when we think about the abdominal crunch, it's a movement that looks like this. I'm going to perform it how a lot of people interpret it. They sit down, they come all the way up, and then they rock back down. Are you working the abdominals there? Yes. Are you working them effectively? Not really, and this is why. By coming all the way down and then using a little bit of momentum and other muscle groups to pull yourself up, you're using the abdominal muscles to lift the shoulder girdle up, but then you start to use a lot of ancillary and other muscle groups to finish off the movement and taking away some of the strain from the abdominals. Let me show you what I mean. By getting down onto the floor, abdominals are really contracting in that movement. Any higher up, we're taking tension off them and using a little bit more of erector spinae, the muscle opposite the abdominals through the back, as well as some inertia to finish off that movement. By the time we get to the top here, the abdominals might have tension on, but we can't fully contract them the same that we can down here. So, if performing the crunch, focus like this. Shoulders on the back, hands either out by the temple, crossed over, or reaching out towards the knee, whatever's more comfortable for you. I like to have them out here. Fully exhale, and as you do so, try to contract the abdominals as though you're about to brace for somebody hitting you in the gut. It's that same technique where you brace the abdominals and contract. Contract, you want to curl the shoulders just off the mat. So it's this movement. My abdominals are fully contract now. So from here to there, that's the movement. You want to focus on exhaling, getting all the air out the lungs, and back down. Now, why might not this be a great exercise? Well, as you've seen, it could be a little bit tricky, especially if you're just starting out by implementing an exercise regime. And if you're not fully focused on the technique and the movement, it may not be the most effective. So with that being said, I'm going to show you 6 other exercises that will focus on abdominal conditioning, core strength, great if you have posture issues, and just really making sure that you're training the full abdominal region, whether you play different sports, you need to improve your posture, or like many of us, myself included, you just want to have more definition and shape in the abdominals. And the first exercise I'm going to share with you is a cable pull down. So let's take a look at that. Once again, this exercise might not look like I'm traveling all that far, but I can certainly feel it on the abdominals. Let me show you without the top on. I'll lift it up. I'll perform it one hand at a time. Just as an example. A lot more activation in the abdominal muscles, having to contract to pull not just the shoulders down, but that added resistance. This doesn't mean that you can start adding a dumbbell, a plate, or extra weight when doing the crunch, because it's a slightly different movement. With this one, I'm pulling my shoulders down a half moon towards my hips. I'm not just pulling the rope down towards the floor. That starts to work more the intercostals and brings the shoulders into play. I really just want to isolate the abdominals. So it's this movement. I'm on my knees, toes up at the top, nice and sturdy, and my arm fixture here remains the same. The angle here doesn't change. I'm pulling that rope down. I'm not using my arms to pull the rope. So I'm holding onto that with the weight, exhaling, contracting the abdominals, and then it's a small crunch. It's that half moon, shoulders coming down towards my hips in that movement. We're back down to the mat for our second exercise, and for this one I'm going to show more about the lower abdominals, which, let's just be clear, the abdominals, one length of muscle. These bands of muscles are really all part of the same rectus abdominis here. So any crunch type movement, either from the shoulders coming down or the hips coming up, we're working this. But a lot of us want to kind of get this V-line here, so we tend to work more of the lower abdominals, and this next exercise is a great one that engages hip action as opposed to shoulder action. Let's take a look. We lay flat on our back, the legs come up. The goal here is not to push the legs up towards the ceiling. We're not trying to do this. All that we're doing is keeping the legs up, which is the resistance vertically over the hips. And then we're exhaling, contracting, and we're pulling the lower abdominals inwards so that the hips curl up off the bench. You see here, all I'm trying to do is get my toes over my eye line level. So exhale, I curl upwards, my legs aren't going up, my hips are just moving the legs over my eye line level, which fully contracts the lower abdominal region here. Also, try not to push down with your hands. My palms are upwards or at the side, so it's the abdominals then having to curl and pull my hips forwards, rather than just using momentum or trying to swing my legs over and just get that action from that same movement. Medicine ball rotations or V-twists, there's a few variations of this one. The underlying principles are the same. We want to keep the hips fixed, and then we're rotating our upper torso around. So as long as you're mimicking this movement, whether it's by using a cable, some wood chops, you're on a decline bench holding out a plate or a dumbbell, or just sat on the floor, keeping the feet supported so that they don't lock up. Although if you do really want to progress this, keep the feet up in the air. And then try to move side to side, but as you can see, a lot more challenging. So I like to lock my feet under some dumbbells, keep my hips firmly on the ground, arms fixed, and just move that medicine ball from side to side without bending my arms. What you'll see here is the internal and external obliques. So these V sections here, which really control the rotation of the torso. So this is a great exercise for getting more of that V-cut, tapering the waist. If you feel like you have a blocky sort of waist, part of that is to do with genetics, but also adding some rotations in there as well. Medicine ball like this, or a classic favorite from Arnold Schwarzenegger, getting a broomstick or a light pole, not an Olympic bar, sat on a bench, and just focusing on side rotations. Fully exhaling on each one and really squeezing, contracting the abdominals. Now, if you're unclear on what I mean by contracting, the difference is just by turning like this and then really getting all of the air out of the lungs and contracting the muscles in the abdomen. That's what I'm talking about when I'm exhaling and squeezing on each and every rep. And for this one, 20 or 30 repetitions each time. So 1, 2, 2, all the way until you hit your rep target. So exercise number 4, I'm sat on a Swiss ball or stability ball, and that's exactly what we're doing within this exercise. We're stabilizing the movement. We're moving away from solid, sturdy ground on the floor, and now adding in an element that we need to control by stabilizing our muscles. This brings in a little bit more variety of muscles to help stabilize. So they're called ancillary muscles, muscles that will not necessarily be worked through the exercise directly, but they're still involved in keeping us stable. And you'll see that I'm not sat on top of the ball like this. I'm not trying to do a crunch where the ball is going to move under me. So my feet are positioned and anchored securely up against the wall or dumbbells. I'm kind of sat about 2/3 up on the ball. Therefore, I can stretch out the abdomen here, nice stretch in the muscles here, and that same movement of curling my shoulders back in that half moon towards my hips. These are one of my favorite exercises for the abdominals. You can perform this a number of different ways. Straight arm like this, or using the ab supports, or even with the arms positioned on one of those dip machines where you can do a dip and then turn around and do abdominal supported leg lifts there. The purpose of this exercise, like with exercise number 2, is to get the hips moving like this. So a lot of the time with this exercise, you might see people try to perform it with legs out straight, whether they're just bringing their legs up like this, or they're trying to bring their toes all the way up to where they're holding onto the bar. Whilst this does work the abdominal muscles, I feel it puts too much strain on the lower portion of the back, and it's not as effective as bringing your knees up towards the chest. These side cable lateral pull downs might seem at first a little bit more of an advanced exercise, but simply by lowering that weight and focusing on just the movement alone, you can easily make this a great first starting exercise if you're just getting into the gym and learning the ropes on all the exercises. Similar to the first exercise with the rope pull downs, my arm placement here remains fixed. I'm not using my arm to pull the rope down, I'm merely holding on. And the reason I hold on to the handle like this as opposed to a handle is it allows me to keep more of that arm fixture like that. So exhaling, it's a very slight movement down. My goal is to bring the elbow down towards my hip with this movement. I'm really not trying to go much beyond that. So it's a small lateral motion, slightly forwards. You can really see more of those obliques come into play, which I'll alternate with, if you remember the third exercise, those medicine ball rotations. So each of these 6 exercises are a great exercise on their own, but I like to group them together in 3 exercises for one circuit. An example being on Monday, I might do 1, 2, 3 of those first exercises. The rope pull downs, the lying leg lifts, and the medicine ball rotation. 2 or 3 sets of each, upwards of 20 to 30 repetitions. And then the day after, given a rest. So let's say Wednesday, I'll come back in and I'll perform exercise number 4, 5, and 6. Therefore, I'm giving my abdominals plenty of variety and working them from different angles. All right, so speaking of new exercises and workouts, my website is gonna be up real soon. And on here, I'll have a whole host of video workouts, exercises to follow, muscle groups, both for in and out of the gym. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be showing more about that on social media. So speaking of my new website, if you're thinking about getting a website for yourself, whether it's to rebrand a new one that you've got or to start your very own website, I've got something just for you. Squarespace.com, you can see the link below, squarespace.com/RobRiches. Click on that, you get a little bit of a discount as well. This is a great platform to choose a lot of different templates to build the style of website that best suits you, whether you're a personal trainer, fitness model, or you just want somewhere to showcase all of your social media videos and photos and link everything from your YouTube videos to your social media sites. They have award-winning templates, 24/7 customer care, so you can jump on a live chat, phone them or email if you need any help. The great thing is you really don't need any design experience or different software to be able to build your websites like we did back in the day. So click on there, find out what's up, get your own website going, and be sure to hit me up on social media, Rob Riches Fitness, and show me what you're creating. Let's create something new together, put it out there, pay it forwards. That's exactly what I'll be doing within these videos over the coming months. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this video. Check out more of my videos online. And also a big shout out to the man behind the camera, Josh Morgan, aka Momentum Productions. He is the man with all the equipment, filming these great workout videos. So give him some love and appreciation as well. I'll see you back in the gym soon. Thanks a lot.